Today, I'm taking a ride on a train in Pakistan that government travel advisories say not to travel on. Departing from the massive city of Lahore, I'll be catching what's known as the Subak Raftar Express. Watch as I show what a rail journey in Pakistan is really like, from the worn-out carriages with some pretty important parts missing, to the armed guards that looked after me. But was it a safe and comfortable way to travel? Join me and let's find out. Hello and welcome back to another video. Today I'm here in Lahore in Pakistan and I'm going to be travelling with Pakistan Railways up to Islamabad. I'll be riding on the Subak Raftar Express in AC Parlour Class, the premium offering. Let's go. Well, good morning from a very foggy Lahore Junction station, the main departure point from this 11 million people city. This is one of the oldest stations in South Asia, opening in 1860 under British rule. It was built shortly after an independence rebellion, resulting in the station being heavily fortified, much like a castle. Nowadays, the station is the main point of departure for train journeys out of Lahore, and indeed is one of the busiest stations in all of Pakistan. I'm running a little late due to problems getting a taxi, so let's hastily make our way to the platform, carefully avoiding the barbed wire and anti-tank equipment, of course. The station's entrance is protected by a quick security inspection consisting of a metal detector. Once through, there are a few basic facilities, such as this platform ticket seller and a couple of broken ticket machines. There was also a departure board, which, believe it or not, is actually shown here, though it spent most of the time showing advertisements. Not very helpful, though luckily there was only actually one train in the station, so I decided to head over to platform 5 anyway. Lahore Junction is an incredible station, and I only wish there was some daylight to truly show its beautiful design. All platforms are connected by a pair of centrally located bridges, with lots of stairs taking you to different levels along the way. Okay, it might be a pretty design, but I can't imagine this would be easy in a wheelchair, or if you have lots of heavy luggage. The platforms here at Lahore Junction are bustling with life and activity at all hours of the day, as a result of overnight trains arriving and departing for different destinations. Lots of stalls can be found, catering for the passengers taking these journeys, many of which last over a day. To the right is my train for today. It's the 0700 service to Rawalpindi, named the Subak Raftar Express. This name translates as light speed, though unfortunately we won't quite be reaching 1.08 billion kilometres an hour today. Up front is a modern GEU 20 series diesel locomotive, about 5 years old and imported from General Electric in the United States. Now, the atmosphere here was incredible, but as we're due to depart in 15 minutes, I should probably find my seat. I'm travelling in AC Parlour Class today, which is basically a first class seat. The outside of the carriage describes it as also being super deluxe, so I was definitely looking forward to this. Coach 7 is the only AC Parlour coach on the train, so time to get on board. Seating is in a 2+2 layout, which might seem dense for first class, though it's still very spacious thanks to the generously wide carriage body. My seat is K3, a rear-facing window seat. Today's route will see us heading northwest from Lahore and through the major city of Gujranwala on our way to Rawalpindi, near the capital city of Islamabad. Journey time is scheduled to be 4 hours and 55 minutes, covering 288 kilometres or about 179 miles. We end up departing from Lahore Junction just 1 minute behind schedule at 0701. Departures from major stations in Pakistan are incredibly slow. One other time it took a ridiculous 5 minutes just to leave the platforms. Progress out of Lahore is sluggish, and thanks to the thick fog, Very little of the city was visible too. So for now, let's turn our attention to the inside of the train. The seats themselves are covered by a loose-fitting cloth, I presume to help keep them clean. They are really comfortable thanks to a lot of padding. And up top, there's a large winged headrest. At each side of the seat, there's a sizable fixed armrest. And on this, you can find a button to control the seat's recline, making it even more comfortable. Legroom is absolutely fantastic, and there's more than enough room, even for the tallest of passengers. Down here, there's a folding footrest, but unfortunately, mine was broken. And the seat in front also featured a very small storage net. Above this, a folding seat back table, which provided a decently sized surface. There was also a groove to hold a drink, though I wouldn't recommend using this for a reason I'll get into soon. Instead, there's a pair of drinks holders mounted on the wall. Back outside, our progress is still very slow, as we roll through the Lahore suburbs and across the Ravi River Railway Bridge. We even make an unscheduled stop in Kala Shah Kaku. Luckily, the best scenery is still to come later on in the journey, when visibility will be much better. At this point, the staff come round with the onboard breakfast service. I wasn't sure if this was included in my ticket, as they tried to hand it out to everyone. Turns out it was paid, but only cost 350 Pakistani rupees, which is pretty cheap, but I had already had breakfast at my hotel. After this, we finally got up to some speed, and as luck would have it, some of the fog has cleared up too. Maximum speed on Pakistan's railway network is around 100 kilometres an hour. Whilst by no means fast, you certainly feel the speed, as the track quality in Pakistan is very poor. Pair that with the very flimsy seatback tables, and it's pretty likely your drink will end up on your lap. And speaking of drinks, the service staff periodically come around with tea and coffee. This cost 100 Pakistani rupees, which was very cheap. Soft drinks were also available, though I didn't check the price of these. After 50 minutes, we were due to stop at Gujranwala. However, thanks to the slow progress in Lahore, the train was running about 30 minutes late. Gujranwala is the 5th most populated city in Pakistan, with around 2 million people calling it home. The train waits for around 2 minutes at stations, and when the horn sounds, it's time to depart. Right, time to have a look around the rest of the train and see what other carriages look like. First up is business class. I actually got stopped by an armed policeman here. I thought he was going to tell me to stop filming, but turns out he just wanted a chat, and said if I need anything to just call him. After this, he frequently checked up on me for the rest of the journey. Business class consists of lockable compartments for 6 people. During the day, you sit on the bench-style seating. And by night, beds fold down for sleeping. By the way, all carriages have external doors that do not lock, meaning you are always free to stand by the open door and take in the outside air and passing scenery. Moving forwards, we reach AC Standard Class, featuring 2+3 bench seating. Take extra care when moving between vehicles, as some of the gangways are actually missing, leaving a sizable open gap between carriages. This is Economy Class, which comes in the form of either 2+3 bench seating or sleeping berths. There is no air conditioning, which is okay on a chilly day like this, but in peak summer the temperature often reaches 40 degrees. And this is one of the economy class carriages with beds. It's very affordable, but pretty crowded and uncomfortable. Back outside, we can catch a brief glimpse of one of the Chinese DPU series locomotives, which lasted only a few years before being withdrawn due to serious design flaws. And now, we're arriving at Lahore Junction, where the line from Sargodha and Shortcut joins us. We wait for an oncoming train here for quite some time, as this main line is only single track. And while here, some of the locals started talking to me and asking about my trip to Pakistan. It's not a place visited often by Westerners, and all locals I met were really friendly and inquisitive as to just what I was doing in their country. After 10 minutes, we're back on the move and beginning to head to the most beautiful part of the route. If you are wondering why the footage looks a little bit weird, these windows are actually heavily tinted to help keep the carriage interior cool. I've edited the footage to try and make it look a bit more natural, but normally it looks like this, which is sure to make photography very difficult. We are now crossing the spectacular bridge running over the Jhelum river. The bridge spans 1.5 kilometres and dates back to 1878. As well as this single track railway, it also carries a narrow road. And one thing is for certain, this gave a stunning view over the surrounding area and dry riverbed. Here we cross another train, in particular Tezgam, which is one of the fastest and most popular trains in Pakistan. And seconds later, our train pulls into Jhelum station itself. From here, we leave behind the flatlands and begin to climb into the mountains. Note the classic semaphore signals, which closely resemble those used in the UK. Some were even placed on a hill, presumably to aid visibility. This part of the route spiralling towards the mountains was incredible and even featured a long tunnel in the middle. This scenery was of course best enjoyed from the opening doors. Now let's head back inside to take a look at the toilets. The quality of toilets varied throughout the formation, but all vehicles featured a squat toilet and a Western style sitting toilet. This wasn't very clean, but was far from the worst I've seen on trains. The water was working fine, but soap was missing. I'd always recommend bringing your own supplies when travelling in this part of the world. There was also no toilet paper, but a handheld bidet was provided. For luggage space, there are large overhead luggage racks. Most trains in Pakistan have a dedicated luggage car, in which larger items can be carried for a fee, but this service was an exception. On the bottom of the luggage rack was a power button, and I had absolutely no idea what this did. So of course I just had to press it to find out, but it didn't seem to do anything. Coat hooks could be found on the wall, one for each seat. And just next to these, a volume control. Though like the power button, I have no idea what this was actually for. At the window there was an adjustable blind, which was very effective, though it wasn't very sunny anyway. Down here, a small bin to help keep the train tidy. And lastly, some sort of audio entertainment system. I'm not sure if this was working, as I didn't try it. Let's talk about how much this trip cost. A ticket in AC Parlour Class costs 1,850 Pakistani rupees, which I think is excellent value for money for a comfortable 5-hour train ride. The other classes are even cheaper too. We are now on the approach to Rawalpindi, Pakistan's 4th largest city, situated right next to the country's capital, Islamabad. Frustratingly, there's no public transport link from Rawalpindi station into Islamabad, so you have to go by taxi, taking up to an hour in bad traffic. We arrive into Rawalpindi running 29 minutes late, which is unfortunately standard procedure for Pakistan Railways, where punctuality is very poor. Overall, I had a good journey with Pakistan Railways. The train was pretty comfortable, despite being a bit dirty and some broken or missing parts. I also felt very safe during my ride on this train and my visit to Pakistan in general, in part thanks to how lovely everyone is. But as always, let me know what you thought of this trip on the Subak Raftar Express. Would you travel on a train in Pakistan? And for a look at Sri Lanka's incredible railway through its picturesque jungle, then click up here now.